Yeah, so it was 2016, and it was a winter time in this home. We were suffering, Krista and I, from this thing for many years, and it was silent retreat. I'm like, good, I gotta get away and just spend the weekend in prayer and just beg God. And all of a sudden, this priest comes walking in, a priest who I had never seen before. There's 90 men on this retreat, and nobody had seen this priest before. He comes walking in with his big Old Testament beard, looked like Ezekiel. He just looked solid and holy, and then he began to talk. And he spoke profound words about the Holy Spirit. He gave a talk on the Holy Spirit. And after the talk, I was blown away. And right afterwards, it was about 9:30 at night, and he started having confessions. And I said, I got to go to confession to this priest. And so I sat down and I broke open my growing sin of despair of, hey, my wife's drinking and it's been going on. I don't know what to do, Father, because I'm the enemy. And he said, well, Kevin, it's a cross. Do you want to carry this cross for your wife? And I said, yeah, well, of course, Father, of course. Well, Kevin, of course, it's the vows you took, for better or for worse. It's hard. This is where we need to learn what nailing yourself to the cross for Krista is. I know you're feeling despair, but you can't, because God is faithful. And he said, he asked questions I had never heard, piercing questions. He said, Kevin, are you willing to walk the mountains and down the valleys with Krista on your shoulder, to do whatever you can just to trust God until Krista is well? And I said, yes, Father, yes. He said, well, okay, here's what you have to do. Be patient. Be patient. God knows what you're going through far better than how you understand it. God will be faithful if you're faithful to Him. Trust Him. So he blew my mind that day in confession, and he really kind of how do I say it? He took my spirit and sort of...
He gave you hope.
He gave me hope. Krista so well said. He gave me hope. And after confession, I waited him out. It's like 10:30 at night, and I said, hey, Father, I'd really like it if you came to our house for dinner, and I'd like you to meet Krista. And he knew all about the drinking, and he said, yeah, Kevin, I think that'd be good. I'd love to come out for dinner. So he gave me a date, and I wrote it down,
But sweet Kevin always forgets to actually write things down and put them on the calendar and tell me. So the date came, and Kevin was a million miles away in Jamaica on a mission trip. And Father Flume comes knocking on the door, and it was late at night, and I had been drinking. And I was right in the middle of drinking my wine in my bedroom, and there's a knock on the door, and I heard it, but I was not going to answer it. However, my son answered the door and came and got me. And I went to the front door, and I saw Father Flume there. I didn't know who he was. I had no idea that anyone was coming over for dinner, and I didn't really even know he was a priest until I saw the collar underneath his jacket. And he said that Kevin had invited him to dinner, and I was so angry. I was angry at Kevin for inviting Father Flume over for dinner and for Kevin not being here. And Father Flume knew I was angry, and I turned him away. I said, I don't have any dinner for you. I know nothing about it. And I told him to go to Wawa. And
you slammed the door in his face.
I did. I slammed the door on his face.
The holiest priest you've ever met in your life, and probably ever will meet, you said, you know what, get out of here. And I'll never forget the text you sent me. How dare you invite a priest to the house and not tell me about it, and good planning you are, it was like fire out of that text. And I said, oh man, I'm in the doghouse when I get home. This is a mess. And I was in the doghouse, and I deserved to be, but that was the night that the gossamer thread of hope sort of entered into our marriage and our lives.